In these very tutorials, we shall be looking at forming a quadratic equation whenever we are being given the roots of the quadratic equation. This is what we'll be looking at in this very lesson. If you have not subscribed to the channel, kindly click on the subscribe button to get notification whenever a new video is uploaded on this very channel. If you could remember, in our previous tutorials, we learned about how to find the equation whenever we are being given the root of the quadratic equation. So we said that to form the equation whenever we are being given the roots of the quadratic equation, all what we have to do is to find the sum of the roots, and then we find product of the roots, and then we substitute it into this formula, where alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation given. So let's take it that you are being given the root of the quadratic equation to be, let's say, -2 and then 4. So these are the roots of the quadratic equation. You want to find the quadratic equation whose root is what? This. So in doing that, what we have to do is to find sum of the roots. Sum of the roots means we have to add these roots together, and that is going to give us what? 2. Then we find product of the roots, meaning we have to multiply these roots together, and that is going to give us -8. Once we have sum of the root, product of the root, we substitute it into this formula. So we are going to have sum of the root, we have 2, we attach our x to it, product of the root, we had -8, and this is equal to 0. So let's simplify further. So the quadratic equation whose roots are -2 and 4 is this particular quadratic equation. So we are going to apply the same concept here to solve this particular question, but just that with this, the roots are given in terms of what? Alpha and beta. But we are going to follow the same approach to help us find the equation whose roots are given here. So let's see how we can go about it. So in doing that, what we have to do is to find our A, our B, and C from the quadratic equation. So we have our A is the coefficient of x squared, which is what? 3. Our B is the coefficient of x, which is 5. And RC is the constant, which is minus what? 1. So once you know this, you find sum of the roots and then product of the root. And we have already established that the sum of the roots, which is given as alpha plus beta, is the same as minus b all over a. We've already talked about this in our previous lesson. And then the product of the root, which is given as alpha multiplying beta, is given as c all over a. So from this, we know that RA is all 3, and then RB is what? 5. So we just have to substitute it here. So we are going to have -5 all over what? 3. That is what? The sum of the roots. And then we move on to the product of the roots. So product of the root, we have c over a, so c -1 all over a, which is what? 3. So we have sum of the roots and then product of the roots. So sum and then product. So once we know all of this, what we have to do is to pick each of the roots we solve for our sum of the roots and then our product of the roots. So let's start with this. So we have 1 over alpha and then 1 over what? Beta. So as I said, we have to first find the sum of the what? Root. So we have sum of the roots. So we are going to have 1 over alpha plus 1 over what? Beta. So in finding the sum, we have to first find out the LCM. the LCM of alpha and beta will give us alpha beta. This is going to give us beta. This is going to give us alpha. Since addition is commutative, you can write it as alpha plus what? Beta all over alpha beta. So once you know this, we just have to plug in the values of this. So we said that alpha plus beta is equal to this. We are going to substitute that here. And then alpha beta is equal to that. So sum of the roots, we are going to get minus 5 all over 3 divided by product of the root, which is what? Minus 1 all over 3. And this is going to give us what? Positive 5. That is sum of the roots. Let's look at product of the roots. Product of the root means you have to multiply the two roots given. So we have 1 over alpha multiplying 1 over what? Beta. And that's going to give us 1 all over alpha beta. So we are going to have 1 all over alpha beta is, so we have divided by minus 1 all over what? 3. And that is going to give us what? Minus 3. So once you know this sum of the roots, which is giving us this, so this is sum of the roots, product of the root, we substitute it into this particular formula. So these are the roots of the quadratic equation. So we have to find sum of the roots. We have alpha squared plus what? Beta squared. And we have already established that when you have alpha squared plus beta squared, it can be expressed as alpha plus beta all squared minus 2 alpha beta. So from here we have alpha plus beta is equal to minus 5 over 3 all what squared. Then we have 2 alpha beta. We have, so when you do the algebra, you are going to get 25 all over 9 minus, plus 2 all over 3. Find the LCM and then simplify. We are going to get 31 all over 9. Now let's look for the product of the roots. So product of the root means we have to multiply the two roots given. So we have alpha squared multiplying beta squared, and that's going to give us alpha beta all squared. So we have minus 1 over 3 all squared, and that is going to give us 1 over what? 9. So once you have sum of the roots, product of the root, we substitute it into so we have our s squared minus sum of the root, we had 31 all over 9, and then we have x, and then product of the root, we have 1 over 9 is equal to what? 0. So when you simplify further, you are going to get 9x squared minus 31x plus 1 is equal to 0. Let's look at the third one. So first we have to find sum of the roots. So we have plus, so we are going to get alpha plus beta plus what? 2. And we know that alpha plus beta is minus 5 over what? 3. and then we have plus 2. So this is going to give us 1 all over what? 3. Then we move on to product of the roots. We have multiplying beta plus 1. So when we expand this, we are going to get alpha multiplying beta plus alpha plus beta plus 1. This is going to give us alpha beta plus alpha plus beta, and then we have plus 1. Alpha beta we have minus 1 over 3. Alpha plus beta we have minus 5 all over 3, and then plus 1, and this is going to give us minus 1. So what we are going to do next is to substitute this into the formulas. We are going to have x squared minus sum of the root. We have this. We have 1 over 3 x, and then product of the root we have minus 1 is equal to 0. We can simplify further to get 3x squared minus x, and then minus what? 3 is equal to 0. So you can try your hand on the IV. This brings us to the end of today's lesson. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.